Hey there, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. Woody Bendle here from Next Level Growth Strategies. I'm going to let you know right off the bat that this week's business tip is a little controversial. But we don't shy away from a little controversy, right? In today's world, everyone is looking for that quick fix or the silver bullet. Well, for pretty much everything. And that includes us in the business world. Ever since we started walking upright and stopped dragging our knuckles on the ground, one of the things that helped to save time and make us more productive has been tools. But I'm here to let you in on a hugely important and incredibly valuable little secret, and you'd be a fool to not want in on this one. Okay, so stick around. You are not going to want to miss out on this week's business tip. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's jump right on in. A number of years ago, I was in a meeting where we were discussing a substantial new technology implementation for our e-commerce business when one of my colleagues, who had this awesome British accent with a ruthless dry wit, chimed in and said, "That's all well and good, but a fool with a tool is still a fool." And me not missing a beat added, "just more dangerous." We all got a laugh out of that, but Bob's comment wasn't lost on any of us responsible for the success of that implementation. Now, you could take that statement, "a fool with a tool is still a fool," at face value and fault someone for not knowing how to fully leverage a new tool they'd been given. You know, like if you were to hand the keys of your new car to a chimp and blame them for wrecking it. But I want to challenge you to take a different position with this. Just stick with me here. Now, back in the intro, I mentioned that we, and in particular those of us in the business world, often get caught up with the latest and greatest new tools that promise to be game changers for our business. And some of these tools actually can be. But something I've seen way too often throughout my career is what might lead people to buy into that "a fool with a tool is still a fool" statement. And what I mean by that looks something like this. An organization makes a huge bet on a new game-changing technology. They get the thing stood up on time and on budget, and then thud. The money's not falling out of the sky like they said it would. The blame game starts, and too often fault gets placed on the people who are supposed to be using the tool, the end users. They just don't know what they're doing. Those fools, they knew this implementation was happening. They should have been ready. We need to hire people who know what they're doing. Sound familiar? Now, in some cases, but I would argue rarely, the blame or fault can be placed on those end users. But more times than not, I would argue that the blame lies in two places. The first being further up the food chain, and the second being with that new technology provider. In terms of the first, management and executives should be in tune with the capabilities of their organization. They should know whether or not their current team has the knowledge and skills to hit the ground running on day one, that being the day you fully turn on that new tool. And if you're not certain that they have all the knowledge and skills they need, don't make the mistake of assuming that they'll figure it out on their own. You know what they say about assuming, right? If you have any doubt about the readiness of your team, you need to ensure that they are fully trained and have the competencies they need on day one to make this new implementation a huge success. And if you don't, can you really call them fools? And in terms of the second point, this one really gets me a little hot. Now, I'm assuming you're not customer one, so these people who are selling you this fabulous and hugely expensive new tool have experience with lots of other clients, and probably pretty similar to you. I'll admit, some are better at this than others, but some, actually a lot, totally suck at this. And in my opinion, these organizations need to be more upfront about the end user requirements and skill sets needed to be successful. Because here's the deal, if your organization isn't successful, they are not successful. Sure, the sales guy gets his bonus and the company gets to book their revenue, but if you're not highly satisfied and if you're not a reference for them and singing their technology's praises, then that's a problem that they should have proactively attempted to prevent, right? Seems a little foolish to me that more don't take this approach. Okay, so here's our tip. Innovation is the thing that fuels growth, and more times than not, progress for your organization will require that you implement and adopt new tools and processes. But don't just assume this new technology is the easy button, and anyone who can fog a mirror will be capable of fully leveraging its capabilities right from the start without the appropriate training. Tools, especially new tools, can be really cool, and they can be game changers for your organization. But if you want to be successful with your new tools, you have to plan to be successful. And to ensure that you are successful, more times than not, that requires that you fully prepare your team with hands-on training and confirmation of the capabilities and competencies they need to make themselves and your organization a success. When it comes to your new technology implementation and adoption, don't allow anyone to be called a fool. So there you have it. That's this week's tip for getting your organization to its next level of profitable growth by creating clarity, alignment, and consistency. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.